Hello YouTube. So today we are going to be looking at a very bizarre little movie called Better Off Dead. There's really nothing else to say about it outside of it's pretty bizarre, but still pretty funny. So let's get into it. So the movie is about a guy named Lane who is obsessed with his girlfriend. Up to an extremely creepy degree. So yeah, that's not that creepy. And then he goes and takes her picture into the shower, and then he goes to get dressed, and every single hanger in his closet has her picture on it. Yeah, he isn't a creep at all. So, yeah. Then she dumps him. Honestly, if he had pictures all over his room of her, yeah, I would dump him too. So, yeah, he is depressed about this incredibly and then tries to kill himself a few times. This is done in a humorous fashion, as all suicides are. And, yeah, he always seems to fail at it, so he decides, well, I can't kill myself, apparently, so, I guess I'll just try doing something else, like maybe trying to win her back. And, yeah, well, he keeps on doing that, he keeps on failing at that as well, then keeps on turning back to suicide, and then gets chased down by a paperboy, because he didn't give him $2. I don't know. And then eventually he meets a girl, Monique, who pretty much helps him get out of his funk, and yeah, they get together. And it's a happy ending. He skis down a mountain, the paperboy is defeated, and everything is good in the end. There really isn't that much to this movie. But it is a very, very bizarre little film. There are a lot of very weird things going on in this. No, I'll talk about later in the characters some more, but some of the weird things. A dancing hamburger. That's stop motion. And also it sings. Makes sense to me. Paperboys that chase you down and get together their little gang of paperboys because you didn't give them $2 and they want their money. And just so many more bizarre things like that. Oh yeah, and also, a kid that can make a rocket ship. He is only 10. Yeah, nothing bizarre here. So yeah, this is a very, very surreal movie, but in a way, in a very, very weird way, it actually really works. I don't really know what it is about this movie, but something about the way that it's set up and just sort of all the world of very strange things, it just sort of feels very normal somehow, and they really did make this in a very humorous way, and all the very surreal moments are very funny. So yeah, really, it just sort of depends on whether or not you can actually accept all the bizarre things going on, which I did, and yeah, if you do that, then you'll actually have a lot of fun while watching this. Now, does that mean that the story is amazing or anything? No, but it is still a pretty decent story, and I'm actually not one who's really into sort of romantic comedies. I can't tell if this is actually a romantic comedy in a way. It's not usually what they are like, so yeah, but it also has that whole entire dating thing and also comedy in it. So yeah, I don't really know if it's a romantic comedy or not, but yeah, I really don't like romantic comedies, and yet I had a really fun time watching this. So yeah, for the story, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because while it's not the best story out there, it is still pretty solid and does have a lot of fun with the idea. So yeah, story's pretty well done. So let's get into the characters. So for the characters, there are quite a few of them to talk about here. So let's start off with the main one, Lane. He is likable, but that's kind of all there really is to him. Now, I did have a lot of fun just sort of thinking that this guy might just be kind of crazy. I mean, like, he has that very, very weird shrine in his room, all just to his girlfriend, just like all those pictures of her all over the place. And when she breaks up with him, when he starts drawing things, he starts imagining them come to life and starts yelling at them. So yeah, I had some fun thinking that he might just be nuts here, so there's that, but yeah, outside of that, he's just sort of a likable main character. There's really not that much to him, just, he's pretty likable. I don't have any problem with him, it's just that, really, he just doesn't have that much personality there. Although, it is kind of interesting, actually, to sort of see him consider suicide and everything. That is where it gets more interesting to him, but the movie never really takes up more of the interesting questions with that. Instead, it just uses it for comedic purposes. And while, yes, those scenes are hilarious, it is kind of weird to make suicide humorous. But somehow it succeeded with him. And yeah, I actually do really appreciate the movie for trying to find a funny side and something extremely dark. So yeah, this was extremely dark humor here, but I do really like how it was done. So yeah, for Lane, not too much personality, although he is still very likable. Then we have the girl that he meets, Monique. For half of this movie, she does not say a word, and she doesn't really do anything outside of find the guy that she's sort of stuck living with really weird. Then when she does start to talk, she is freaking awesome. Seriously, this character is awesome. She's pretty much a foreign exchange student from France who has now come over, is living with some people that are extremely weird, even in the terms of this movie, and yeah, she really gets pissed off living with them, so she instead just hangs out with Lane all the time. And she is freaking awesome. Not only is she a good skier, like a really good skier, and also knows how to fix up a car in a day, but she's also extremely likable. So yeah, Monique here is freaking awesome, and I love her. She is great in this. Then we have Charles. What can you say about Charles? He is just a lot of fun in this. Now, no, I have not seen this actor in anything else. I know that he was in Revenge of the Nerds, but I unfortunately haven't seen that yet. Although, I definitely do want to check it out after seeing his performance in this, because he does a really great job here. And Charles is also one of the characters with some of the funniest lines in the movie. Like the one about him being in high school for 7.5 years. And he's no dummy. I love lines like that. So yeah, I really did love Charles in this movie. He is great. Then we have Beth. There's not much to her. She's Lane's ex-girlfriend. You get a few flashback scenes with her where she does develop a little bit more of a sort of quirky character, but that's really it. Like, outside of that, she's just sort of a jerk for just immediately dumping Lane, even though she had no reason to do so, just because, oh, some other guy skied down a hill, and you can't do that yet. I'm more impressed with this guy. I'm just gonna go run away with him. Yeah, that's pretty much all her character extends to, and yeah, she's more plot device in this movie. And yeah, I was very happy that Lane chose Monique instead of her. But yeah, I mean, she's not really a bad character here, and yeah, actually she does have some pretty good moments, especially in the flashback scenes, but yeah, outside of that, she's just bland, really. Then we have the guy that she dumps Lane for, Roy. Pretty much the same thing can be said about him as can be said about Beth. except he is more of an a-hole, so yay, I guess. Now, he's pretty enjoyable in how much of a jerk he is, really, but that's sort of it. Then after him, we have the Paperboy. Yes, the Paperboy does have a lot of character here. Like, apparently, he has a whole entire gang of other Paperboys, and if you don't pay him his $2, he will track you down to the ends of the earth in order to get it. So yeah, he's very fun in this. And yeah, the character does actually have a name. I just refer to him as the Paperboy, because, let's face it, that's what he is. So yeah, he was pretty fun here. Not that really much else to add to him outside of, he's pretty funny. Then we have Al, Lane's father. He's pretty funny too. Although, out of all the characters in this movie, he's probably the most normal out of all of them. Every single other one of them seems to have some really weird quirks to them, which works in terms of the movie, as the whole entire world that they live in is kind of weird, but yeah, he's pretty much the most normal out of all of them. Except for with his weird obsession with the garage door. I don't really get that, but yeah, he's okay. I got no problems with him. Then we have Jenny, who is Lane's mother. The joke is she can't cook. Hilarious? Actually, yeah, it is kind of funny. And she does seem to care a whole lot about her kids and her family and everything, which is a nice quality to her, but really her and her husband aren't in it that much. And yeah, out of the two of Lane's parents, she's in it the least. But she is still pretty funny in this, and I did enjoy her. Then we have Badger, Lane's little brother. Oh my god, I love this kid. It's very hard to say why. Actually, wait, no. No, it isn't. The kid can build a laser gun out of toys. Freaking awesome. He gets a book on how to pick up trashy women. Yes, that is specifically the book that he orders. And succeeds to do so. And has a lot of women in his room at one point. And then he makes a rocket ship. I'm gonna assume that he's got to go into space, do space outlaw cool things with his laser gun and all of his trashy women. Seriously, I loved this kid in this movie. Oh, and by the way, he never says a word. He is freaking awesome, but he never says a word. Now, unfortunately, the kid actor didn't really go anywhere, but yeah, I definitely love his role in this movie. He is a lot of fun here. So yes, Badger. He is great in this. And also, he is hilarious. I just really love all the jokes done with him. So yeah, Badger, great character. Then we have Mrs. Smith. I do not like her. Now, compared to her son, she's worse out of the two because, I don't know, the reason why I don't like her is because she keeps Monique locked up, pretty much. She just makes sure that Monique only hangs out with her son because she thinks, well, this girl just randomly transferred to this school, so therefore she must be in love with my son because she has to live with us. And yeah, that's pretty much it with her. I just didn't like Mrs. Smith here. Sure, she is pretty funny in that regard, but yeah, I just don't really like her. Mainly because Monique is freaking awesome, and just sort of holding her back for most of the movie is pretty much just the main reason I don't like Mrs. Smith. And then we have her son, Ricky. Kind of the same thing with Mrs. Smith, as he does sort of just treat Monique the same way, but yeah, you can kind of get that that might just be from his mother. And yeah, at the end of the movie, he does become a bit better of a character, as he does sort of slowly become more of a friend to some of the characters. And he actually does just sort of break away from his mother's rules and regulation, and then just sort of goes with his own girlfriend. That is a completely random girl that he just met, but yeah, good for him. I hope they're happy together. It's really not that much to him, it's just, he's alright. There were some funny jokes with him, though. So, yeah. For all the characters in this movie, well, much like before, 7 out of 10. Mainly because there are quite a few of them that just really don't have that much personality to them. Although, that doesn't make them any less enjoyable. All the characters in this movie are a lot of fun, and ones that I really do enjoy watching. Even if they're characters that I don't overly like, they are still fun to watch here. It's just that, yeah, some of them are just pretty bland when you get down to actually having to analyze their character, which is unfortunately something that I have to do for a review, so yeah. That doesn't make them any less likable or anything, but yeah, it is definitely a flaw with them. So, for this movie overall, it is a very, very fun, pretty bizarre, but still very enjoyable and very funny movie. Really, there isn't much to say about it outside of, it's just pretty funny, bizarre, but still very enjoyable. The characters, while not that developed or well-rounded or anything, are still very likable and ones that I did enjoy following a lot. And the humor in this movie definitely stands out from others that I've seen. It takes dark humor, which usually when I see that done, it's in horror movies, but yeah, this movie just sort of made it into a comedy with some dark humor thrown in there, and that's really what made it work to me. Mainly because I like darker humor, so yeah, if you like dark humor, this is a movie that you should definitely check out. As, yeah, it makes suicide kind of funny. I don't think I can say that about any other movie. So yeah, for this movie overall, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, mainly because it's just very enjoyable, very funny, and while there are some aspects that aren't that strong, it is still a very fun movie to watch, and one that I'm probably going to watch a few more times. So yeah, 8 out of 10. This is a pretty enjoyable movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, I definitely recommend going and giving it a watch. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Next week, we will be talking about the awesome movie that is Highlander. So yeah, bye.